Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard, and it comes in 148 scale, so it copies quite famous German fighter aircraft. It's a Focke-Wulf 190A-8, and as you can notice, it comes as a weekend edition, so it might be interesting for modelers who don't need any extras in their kit. They just want the pure plastic and decals, and that should be enough for them. So we have a commercial sample here, obviously, and it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review, and it will be interesting to check what is actually supplied in this nice box. So first of all, I have to note that the packaging became a bit slimmer than it was in the previous releases, and here you can see comparison with my hand. We have nice box art, and as for the thickness, here you can see the thickness. We also have some information about the manufacturer and safety advices, while on the opposite side you'll find 4 markings. Do not worry that I am showing them upside down, because we will check them when we will be taking a look at the assembly manual. So this is a top opening box, and here is what we have inside. There are parts which are packed into separate plastic bags. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure why it was packed like this. As you can see, there is not that much of space thickness wise, so I would rather recommend to check the parts before getting them or buying them, because it would be a wise approach. Let's say it this way. And now I'm opening the first clear plastic bag. So here we have the canopy parts, and this sprue is molded as a, as you can see, rectangular frame. If I zoom in, you'll see what I'm talking about. So here we have canopy parts of various types. Obviously we will need only one type for the A8. And also I have to mention that we have the separate main sections of the canopy, so it means you will be able to assemble them in the open position, which is quite important in this scale, because open cockpit on 148 scale aircraft always looks nice, and it's a good idea to do such thing on your model. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag. Here we have the first pair of the gray plastic sprues, so just give me a second. Because here we have fuselage halves. Here they are. Both are molded together with a tail fin, but without cooling parts. So here our cooling panels will have to be added gradually. And I think we can zoom in even closer so that you can appreciate the external features on these parts. As you can see, they look really great. We have recessed panel lines and rivets. Attachment points are really thin here. And if I flip over these parts, inside you will find guiding elements. That's because the cockpit will be assembled separately and then inserted in between fuselage halves. That's quite a smart approach, and it also allows you to get the resin set for the cockpit. If you're willing to spend a bit more, that might be a really good investment, because it will bring you more features on your aircraft. Next, we continue with wing parts. Here we have quite classic design, I would say. So note that flaps are molded in, ailerons are separate. We also have really good external features, but with this I would recommend to be careful. So if I zoom in, you can see that they're not very deep. That's why do not overdo the paint and primer layers. Otherwise it will be really tricky thing to fix all this stuff. And of course it will lose the overall beauty of what we are getting out of the box. By the way, here you can see also some features for the main wheel wells. For the flaps, they're pre-molded, but if you would like to have them dropped in the dropped position, you will have to get the separate PE set, which is sold by Eduard. And again, that would be an extra investment, of course, by your side. Next, I'm opening the second plastic bag with the gray sprues. So just give me a second to remove 2 frames there, and we will take a closer look. Okay, so what do we have here? Just give me a sec. First of all, we have this white frame. Here we have the wing mechanization as well. It means these ailerons, as well as the tail wings and elevators. We have several types of the ammo bay cover. Do not forget that the ammo bay is not supplied originally. You have to get it as a resin set if you would like to copy it on your aircraft. And also we have some cooling parts and landing gear panels. So everything looks really good. And I would say these parts should be easy to combine together. The only thing is to decide in which position you would like to have them. Next, we continue with another plastic sprue. So here we have something what was a subject of big debates on the forums. That's the engine insert, because some modelers wanted to have the engine. But for some modelers this is more than enough, because it's barely visible in the cowling on 4K Wolf 190. What I really like is that we have the frontal sections of the cowling panels molded as a circular single piece parts. That's really great because you won't have seams in this visible area. And also here you can see two types of the cockpit floors, which look good, and of course such design will make it easier to install everything, because you do not have to align the separate panels. Everything comes as a single piece part. And of course this landing gear legs, both this pair and this pair, look quite impressive, and I think they deserve some careful painting and weathering in order to bring out the details. And the last gray plastic sprue is packed into another plastic bag, so just give me a second to open it as well, and I will show you what we have here. So this one is dedicated mostly to the tiny parts. There are a lot of parts which will stay unused, so pay attention, because some of them are supplied in several versions. Also, we have a lot of instrument panels and cockpit parts in, let's say, various areas. So again, pay attention, and do not forget that you can replace the cockpit parts with complete brassing set, and it would be a really impressive upgrade, which will also require additional investment, obviously, and of course some certain skills, because otherwise it will be a really tricky thing to assemble. There are even more small parts than what we have in the original release, so that's why I do not recommend it to unexperienced modelers. Next, we continue with another plastic bag which is dedicated to decals. As you remember, we are dealing with the Weekend Edition kit, so there are no P parts, no masks or any other bonuses. So here is the first decal sheet. Of course it is printed in Eduard, so you shouldn't be worried about any printing quality issues. As you can see here we have stencils, and they are supplied in several colors. Next we continue with the main decal sheet, and here we have quite an interesting feature, because if you look carefully, we have here not only the main decal symbols for the camouflages, but also we have cockpit decals, which are quite handy for the modelers who don't want to spend extra for the P parts. For some modelers that would be more than enough, so that's a welcome addition, which is good to see in the standard packaging. Next we continue with assembly manual. So this one is printed in form of a large brochure, typical Eduard format, I would say. So we have a short history note in English language on the first page, and then we continue with the parts map. Blue color means that these parts will stay unused on your sprues, and assembly process starts with the cockpit. So as you can see, a lot of things going straight away on the initial stages of the assembly. I'm trying to turn over the page. So here we continue with fuselage halves, and we start working on the wing and main wheel wells. Next we continue with the wing assembly and also install some cowling panels and landing gear parts, as well as the panels for the fuselage. Here we continue with antennas, canopy parts, propeller, and of course you have to decide whether you would like to open or close the canopy. And here the final stages also involve the choice of installing the bomb or under fuselage tank. And next we continue with the first marking option from April 1944. Here we have another pair from November 1944 and February 1945. And here is another one, May 1945. So as I promised, 4 marking options in total. And of course we have also stenciling guide here, as well as the list of all possible accessories for this kit. As I said, there is quite a huge choice of them. So you can decide whether you would like to have, for example, the full engine, or maybe this bronze legs, or maybe the cockpit, or maybe all together. As you can see, this is a really impressive list, and we have some of them reviewed on our YouTube channel, so definitely check them out. So as for the kit, it should be already available. You can get it on official Eduard website. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.